welcome back to the RedSeaPodcast. A rare early air episode, even though not by that much, really. Uh, and a rare back-to-back episode with yesterday's general talk about football. I mentioned to you that I was waiting for the basketball team to actually announce some stuff, and as had to happen today with uh, Tyson Ward's announcement, finally, honestly. We knew this deal was gonna go on for a while. We knew this deal was basically done for a while, and it finally got through. Finally got announced. We of course were waiting for French League, of course, the French League finals to finish up as well, which was more than understandable. But he's here, and finally, it's more than okay to talk about it. Uh, as I've dropped in the comments, as usual in the last few shows uh, that I do happen to do, I always drop a question. If you miss the episode, that this habit started randomly, but if you miss the episode, there is always, most times, because sometimes I forget to put the setting on, there is always a live replay of the live chat as well. So the question I set out to all of you to either answer now or in the comments will continue to be there. And I thought it would be fitting for today to focus on the player. That's why I said a couple of days ago on Twitter as well that I am gonna try and mold the Transfer Chatter series into basketball. So this is technically episode 3 of Transfer Chatter, but this is a different mold to see if you all like and enjoy it. But the question is, of course, as focused to the player mostly. It's what are your thoughts, of course, regarding this move and how everything else surrounding this move gets affected, and who else would you realistically like to be brought in? Also, always in the comments of these solo shows, I know Gav hasn't been here in quite a while, but trust me, uh, we'll get it working again. Of course, as always, he is trying his best and he's helping a lot in the background, so he's still right here and a major cog for this machine called the RedSeaPodcast to be working as it is, especially when stuff isn't the easiest on my end. In these solo shows, there is a link that you can take from the comments, you can copy it, and you can join me live freely to drop your thoughts in regards to whatever the episode may be. So think of it as open lines, honestly. Aside from those, whether you're new, whether you've been watching for a while, you know that everything that you may need uh, is down below. The past few weeks have set me back a bit in a development sense, but I will try my best to get caught up with everything in the background because there is a lot of things coming in the background, whether those are some details I want to finalize, whether those are some specific things I want to improve, or whether it's one of the major projects that I am planning to introduce to the show as time goes on, because me and Gav had a discussion as well, and it is more than likely that there will be another big, very big, and quite different idea being introduced very soon. So I will get caught up, as always, as I've always proven to you guys, and as I always will try. And aside that, everything else is down below. Also, something that has gotten a very, very positive impact, and I'm glad, is the new camera. Because aside the two minor problems, which one of those was in my control because the thing did overheat because I had set it up wrongly, but yesterday so it was out of my control with StreamYard just crashing, but I am keeping an eye on it, and if it happens again, I will fix it and come back even faster than yesterday, even though I'm glad I got it in like 30 seconds yesterday, but stuff like that uh, happens in live shoot, just like everything else. Everything has been very positive and everything has been running very smoothly, and I'm glad. And as I've said before, the next uh, goal, the next upgrade, is gonna be a mic, and I'm glad you all have been. My sound's not horrible, I know that. I've been watching the episodes back, but it's way more horrible than I would love for it to be. And I am severely working towards a proper mic to have set up so you all don't have to deal with the echo that's around in this room. Now, uh, aside from all the shameless promo, and aside from all the all the general uh, updates, honestly, let's get into what the main thing of this episode is about. And I am gonna actually do this. Let the camera focus up again. Okay, I'm not half dark now. I'm glad. Regarding Tyson Ward, which is a move that I said in the past, both on social Zen episodes as we ended the season and this rumors just started, to more or less flare up. It's a move that I've been excited for. Honestly, any move that has seriously been talked about, can't lie and say that I haven't. I am excited for it. And the parenthesis, the basketball parenthesis this time, as it seems in the reports that Zach McKissick will renew for one more year. I wasn't wrong this time because it's been a bit of an inside joke of the show that um, I've been very caught out on a lot of things regarding Zach. I had in the past false reported a renewal, and I admitted that openly, and I'm glad it didn't happen again because it would be very funny for my main false information, my two false reports to be both on Zach's renewal. But yeah, Tyson Ward. Tyson, there is a lot of things you can describe him as. There is a lot of adjectives that you can use to describe a player like that. But the main thing is that he wants to be here, and the main thing is that he can cover a lot of things we need, especially in such a position as the three, where we needed desperate reinforcement. We're talking about a versatile player, both defensively and offensively. We're talking about a player that's more than efficient, player that doesn't have trouble adapting nor to a role that he may be given, neither to a task that he may be given by the coach or a change of play, this and that. We're talking about a very efficient player. And we're also talking about a very team-oriented and a very selfless player, which is a lot of things that even if you just don't go in depth and just leave those there, so that's so why he's fit to be here. He's a player with very high basketball IQ, which is something that I personally admire in players, and I honestly just study with such excitement. And as I said, he's very team oriented. He's very unselfish. He's not necessarily a pass first player, but if he needs to, he will. He won't see an open teammate and just pass it up. I mean, you will pass the ball itself. And I'm saying that he's not necessarily just a pass first player because his efficiency is translated in his scoring ways as well. He's, at least I'd call him, more of an all-around scorer. He doesn't have any problems, but maybe the game in the paint a bit, but from mid and long range, he's more than efficient enough and more than consistent enough. Because, at least again, personally, consistency is a major thing that I have at least noted down in regards to Tyson's way of playing and what he has managed to show, not necessarily just last season, but up to now in his career. And we will delve into that in a bit because I found a more general page that wraps everything up. But his consistency all around is very translated in both ends of his game. And so is his efficiency, as I said. His versatility is not just general, it's translated massively in the defensive part as well. He's a physical player, like he's not just a push around the man. He's 6'5", 6'6". He's a bit taller than me at 198. And honestly, he is a beast. He's a very high IQ beast. And on a more joking department, half joking, half serious, of course, a clip that is very beloved between us all is the Bartzokas clip with the keys to the Panathinaikos fans. And of course, a clip has resurfaced of Tyson Ward last time that he was here blowing a kiss to the Panathinaikos fans, which is once again something that perhaps proves why he's meant to be here. And honestly, I couldn't be happier about acquiring a player like that for a lot of reasons. Now let me move over as I've done in the past few shows. I know you see nothing, you will see nothing for a bit more, but I will hopefully get this to work. If I don't, I'll keep an eye on it. There it is, should be showing up. Of course, as I said, 198, stands at 6'6". These are his averages in general, which are very impressive, but that's not what I want to focus on, because I am glad that I did stumble upon this site because it is showing a lot. This may have been very well known, but I wasn't really aware of this site. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, these are his past 5 games, the last 5 games of the French League finals, which Paris, of course, did end up winning. And it's honestly some very good performances all around. Of course, the last game is this, the 99-93 win, where he scored 11, 5 rebounds and 1 assist in 32 minutes. 50% from mid-range, from the two-pointer, made the three he attempted, 57.1 on the field goals, 50% from the free throws as well, mixed offensive and defensive rebounds, 1 steal and 2 turnovers, 2 fouls with 13 efficiency. Of course, this isn't his best performance in the finals, but it is for sure a noteworthy one. Even in the losses, he didn't perform up to the top of his game, of course, with 6-4-4 and 7-3-1. But when you go back to the 2 wins on the 15th and the 17th, on the 17th, the 92-67 win, it's a 6-7-0 with 1 steal. Not an insane game, but still a good enough game to help his team get the job over the line. But here is a game that wasn't as much of a blowout, and it was Tyson's best performance in the finals with a 16-4-3 in 29, with a bit over 50% on the mid-range, 100% from the threes, once again with 3 for 3, counting up to 75 from the field goal, 1 of 1 for the free throws. Of course, severely leaning here to the defensive rebounds, as with most times, aside from the last game. 3 assists, 3 steals, and just 1 turnover. The duos in the last 5 games haven't been any amount that anyone should really be worried about, to be honest. And a very, very big 23 efficiency. But of course, as I said, this site has a lot of things. I don't really want to focus on the college basketball. I do want to remain mainly on his 2 years with Paris and, of course, the last season. And again, these are regular season stats. And to maybe just lean a bit in the stats with Von. Of course, you see a steady rise in the average of the points, with 7.6 when he first made a step up to Von, 10.8 when he had his second and last season with the team, with the German team. Then transitioning over to Paris, we have a 10.8 again, and a bit of an all-around stability in the main stats. We'll look at everything else after as well. But then again, you see a step up in his game. And honestly, this has been something that in his European journey, at least, has been part of the transitional years. Of course, has been a habit, him stepping up once he gets integrated into a team, which is the human thing to do, right? It's the understandable thing to do. It's the human thing to do. His minutes have been about the same. His minutes dropped a bit in his second year in Paris, but not by much. His field goal percentage has been, again, very consistent, with it dropping a bit in the final year, but that not really affecting his points. His 3-point percentage has been on the up ever since the last 4 years, that is. It's been very impressively on the up, and his shooting technique in general has been very impressively on the up. That's why I did want to focus on and like to point out Gizmo agrees as well. That's why I did want to focus on and like to point out that we are talking about an all-around scorer now, someone that is stepping up the game piece by piece and stone by stone, honestly. And I I couldn't call myself anything less than impressed. He is a very decent free throw shooter if that and when that is needed, which is something that in general wouldn't be that important to go and point out. But in this case and in this team where free throws have cost us a lot of games, same for threes, something that I do want to keep an eye on and hope that it keeps going up and up. Offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds, as I mentioned in the past 5 games as well, we're seeing more of a leniency towards helping the defensive paint, not that much the offensive, which again makes sense. We are talking about a small forward, but he is great at the back, at helping at the back with a massive 3.8 to finish off this season. Of course, 4.3 average in general in the rebounds, 1.4 in the assists, as we said. And again, going back to one of my first points, we're not necessarily talking about the pass first player, which is what this team needs. This team needs shooters right now. But we are talking about a player that will see the pass if and when he does need to see the pass. Almost a steal per game, a bit more than a turnover per game, which is not an insane stat. It's very reassuring, dare I say. Again, these are regular season stats in the league. I'm not talking about Euroleague. And this is fouls per game, which is 2.3. Now, if we move on a bit lower, we'll maybe see a difference. And of course, this is both league and cup for the past few years. And I do mostly want to focus on the last season with the cup, the Coupe de France, the Leaders' Cup, and the league, because this is solely playoff statistics. If you keep seeing my mouse disappear off the screen, it's because I keep coming back to my setup to see if everything is working. Okay, don't mind it too much. Starting off with the Coupe de France this season, a very impressive stat line of 14.3, 3.7, and 2.7 in points, rebounds, and assists on average in 3 games played, with around 25-ish minutes per game, over 50 in the field goals, almost 50 from the threes, which is very impressive with 47.1, almost 70 on the free throws. Again, leniency towards the defensive rebounds, but not by that much, of course, given that it's less games as well. As I said, with 3.7 on average and 2.7 assists on average in 3 games played, with 0.7 steals, 1.3 turnovers, and 2 fouls, and an efficiency average 14.7. His performance in the Elite Leaders Cup was 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists in 25 minutes, which is not something to really think about, but it's worth a mention. And in the league playoffs, he averaged 11.4, 5, and 1.9 in 11 games, in an average of 26 minutes. His field goal going up even above the cup performances, 52.4. His threes staying very consistent and very close to 50% when it matters, and a very impressive 82.6 from free throws. Again, we're talking about playoff games, so that's another sign of consistency and efficiency, even when it matters most. And speaking of efficiency, 15.4 in the playoffs, with the steals being 1.5, which again, very, very good number, and blocks being 0.2, and fouls being 2.5. And the last thing that I want to focus on is, of course, the main thing that is going to be in people's minds, and that's the European competition stats. Either the BCL, the Euro Cup, and the Euroleague, which has been on steady rise, as has been, for example, PJ Shot's steady rise. In the BCL, in his first season, he averaged 8.1, 4.2, and 1.8 in 13 games in around 22 minutes, with a 42% from the field goal, a 34% from the threes, 72% free throws, 1.1 steals, and 10.4 efficiency. Then we saw a step up again. 11 points, 4.1 rebounds, and 1.3 assists. So again, leaning towards scoring and finishing up, but improving general performance in the Euro Cup. 23 games, 24.9 minutes on average, with above 50 in general field goal, 36.2 from the threes, and 86.8 from the free throws. 1.2 steals per game here, less than 1 turnovers per game, still 0.8 and 12.9 efficiency. It's a bit of a drop, but again, it's more or less consistency zone in his rookie Euroleague season, with 11 points, 4.9 rebounds, which shows his improvement not only all around, both defensively and offensively, especially defensively, but his improvement in his physical game as well. 38 games played, scores 26.3 per game, a field goal of 44, on average 44%, 33.2, which is still very good from the threes, 75.9, basically 76 from the free throws. As I said, massive leniency again on the rebounding department, which was more than improved compared to the last few seasons in Europe, which is 1 to 3.9, and an efficiency of 11.9, which again, more than impressive and more than noteworthy. This was very interesting in something that I did want to mention, given that the site did have it available. The career highs of Tyson Ward in 2024, he set a career high 30 points in Paris home win against a team that I can't pronounce. You see it on the screen right here. And in the same game, he had 8 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. He shot 3 out of 4 from mid-range, 7 out of 13 from 3, which is insane, out of 58.8 in total, and 3 out of 4 from the free throws. So a very impressive career high in points. Career high in rebounds is all the way back in NCAA with 13 rebounds in a big win for his team with 19 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block in the same game. Career high 7 assists. That was again NCAA in again a big win where he had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 1 steal, and a block. Career high 5 steals. You don't have to go as far back. We are going to Bonn in Germany with 5, as I said, in a loss against Alba Berlin with 3 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists. Not the best of games, but a noteworthy career 5 steals. Career high blocks is not insane, but that's not something you would really come to expect from Tyson Ward. And a career high 36 efficiency, which is very impressive, in January 2nd, 2020 in NCAA, where he tied his career high in a very good game of 25, 11, and 6. And the last thing that I really did want to focus on is this year and what he did against us. Because I always find that very, very noteworthy. Let me actually find the games. The loss, the 73-90 game, he had 10-1 and 2 against us in 27, with 2 out of 2 from mid-range, 2 out of 6 from threes, and a total of 50% shooting, no free throws. As I said, he had 1 rebound that was, as we've come to expect, defensive. Let me actually, he had a steal as well, 10 efficiency, which is one of his lowest, but still very noteworthy, especially with how I lost my last game. But going back to Paris' road win against us early on in December, I apologize about these ads, but they haven't stopped playing, and I can't do much about them. I hope that doesn't show up audio-wise, and I'm really, really hoping that isn't showing up in general. Let me actually make sure that everything is running fine, because my setup is a bit broken. Give it a second. I will be right back to being with you. I hope I'm still live. Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. That had to happen. Give me a quick little second for all this to restart. I'll fix it all up. Okay, everything was working fine. I'm glad. I will fix it all up. Now you can see me a bit weirder, but I had to flip the camera because my laptop closed on itself, and I basically touched upon everything I wanted. So yeah, we are talking about a very impressive player, and someone more than good enough to acquire. So thank you all very much once again as we close up on 35, which is more than I'm happy for. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all soon. Thank you.